Hello everybody, Interitere back again with another video, and today's video, guys, is going to be about a reaction video after Serbia won the ATP Cup against Spain with 2-1, and the result got through exactly like I predicted yesterday. Actually, I thought that Novak would defeat Rafa Nadal. I thought that RBA, Roberto Bautista Agut, will defeat Dusan Lajovic, which he did, and then the doubles match which decided this final. I was not 100% certain about Serbia, I will tell you that, guys. I will not sit here in front of the camera and lie, but I just had the feeling that Serbia would pull the victory in the end, which they did in straight sets in that doubles match. To talk about the first match between RBA and Dusan Lajovic, it was a straight sets victory for RBA, a pretty expected one, to be quite honest. The head-to-head before this match was 3-0 to RBA, even though that Dusan Lajovic is a pretty solid ball striker from the baseline. He doesn't do a lot of unforced errors, and he can really hit the ball really clean, and he can play solid tennis from the baseline, but he doesn't have enormous of weapons, and that's why he has only won one tournament in his career, Dusan Lajovic, even though that he is a solid top 50 player in the world. For the moment, I believe he's top 30 player in the world. I think he's 34 in the ranking at the moment, I believe, Dusan Lajovic, but he doesn't possess tremendous big of weapons, and against a solid super machine from baseline like RBA, who basically more or less never misses, you will be in big trouble. Even though that Dusan Lajovic, he pushed RBA in the first set, which RBA won with 7-5, but in the second set, Dusan Lajovic, he was a knocked out man, like a boxer. RBA knocked him out in the second set with 6-1. And then we had that blockbuster match between Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. In my opinion, the greatest rivalry of all time. It was their 55 meeting today, which Novak won in straight sets. Like I said in my preview yesterday, for Rafa to have a chance, he has to come out from his comfort zone. He cannot play loopy, short balls. He cannot play high percentage of tennis. He needs to play low percentage of tennis, a la Roger Federer, with risky game, going for the trigger, coming out from his comfort zone, and Rafa didn't do that in the first set. Rafa, he truly believed that he could challenge Novak from the baseline with not a very risky game, with short loopy balls, with trying to challenge Djokovic from the baseline, and he was dead meat. Novak, he just completely destroyed him 6-2. Novak was just outrageous. Novak was so solid. He was rock solid from the baseline. He was rock solid with his serve. I think Novak won 70s. I think Novak in the first set won 80% of his first serves and 100% of his second serves in the first set. Rafa he never was in the match in the first set. Why? Because he was not going for big cuts. He cannot play against Novak and against Federer, especially against Novak, how he plays against other players, by trying to take them down from the baseline, by trying to give them loopy balls. That doesn't bother Novak Djokovic. I don't understand why someone is not telling that to Rafael Nadal. For God's sakes, he has coaches, not one, not two. He has a bunch of coaches, even though that Carlos Moya is his head coach. But he has sidekick coaches as well. They should tell him that, yeah, you cannot beat this guy from the baseline. You cannot beat this guy by playing safe. You cannot beat this guy by not going outside your comfort zone. And I don't know if they told him before the match, because obviously Rafa didn't learn his lesson that he has not defeated Djokovic in 7 years outside clay, and Djokovic punished him 6-2 in the first set. In the second set, Rafa tried to play more aggressive, a la Roger Federer. Rafa tried to come out from the comfort zone. Rafa tried to pull the trigger more. Rafa tried to play more aggressive, and it paid off. The second set was more close. Rafa had 5 break point opportunities, but Djokovic saved all of them. And in the end, Djokovic was too solid in that tiebreak and won the tiebreak 7-6, 7-5 in the tiebreak. Djokovic, all in all, too solid, too consistent, too good from the baseline. Too good with his serve. He did 12 serve aces, I think, Novak Djokovic. He landed 77% of first serves. That is crazy high, really. Rafa was not landing too bad himself. He landed, I believe, 73. But Djokovic, he served better. Djokovic, and the biggest difference, it was a lot of difference in this match. Djokovic was the better player, from the first to the last point, really, especially in the first set. But the biggest difference was Novak was winning 60% of his second serves. Rafa was winning 32. Why? Because Novak Djokovic is so much better returner. And some subscriber told me yesterday in my video I did yesterday in the preview videos, told me if she or he, I don't know. The person told me that Nadal is a better serve returner than Djokovic. No, my friend, Nadal is not a better serve returner than Djokovic. Don't look just at that stat that he or she told me that Rafa has won more second serves than Novak Djokovic throughout the years. But that doesn't mean that Nadal is a better returner. Rafa has, you're probably right, Rafa has won probably more second serve than Djokovic throughout the years. But Rafa has won those in rallies, not immediately on the serve. Rafa doesn't punish his opponent immediately after the serve lands. He doesn't do that because he's not as good a serve returner as Novak Djokovic. Nobody is. Novak Djokovic is the greatest serve returner of all time. And then we have Novak's backhand. My dear God, he can hit that backhand on his lip. He can hit it down the line. He can hit it cross court. He can hit it flat. He can hit it with spin. And he did. He really did. And that's why when I see Novak Djokovic facing Rafa Nadal, I see why Rafa Nadal has so much trouble against this guy, especially outside clay. Because Novak is such a bad matchup for Rafa Nadal. He really is. He really is, because everything Rafa possesses, Novak has answers. Rafa goes to Novak's backhand. He's dead meat because Novak has the greatest backhand of all time, in my opinion. Novak has the greatest returns of all time, in my opinion. And how does Rafa punish his opponent? By hitting, by striking, by penetrating his opponent's backhand. Because 90% of the tool's weaknesses are on the backhand side. But that is not the case in Novak Djokovic. And that's why Rafa Nadal feels so helpless when he faces Novak Djokovic. Because he cannot hurt him. He doesn't know what to do. He feels lost. And that's why he has not defeated Novak Djokovic in 7 years outside clay. And dear God, I don't know when Rafa will ever defeat Novak Djokovic outside clay ever again. I don't know that answer. He maybe will never do that. If he doesn't take more cuts on the ball, if he doesn't play more aggressive, if he doesn't go more to the net, like he did in the second set. And he almost won that second set. He had 5 breakpoint opportunities, but Novak, once again, he proved why he's a beast mentally. Sometimes we tennis fans may believe that Novak is lucky when he saves all these break points and match points and set points. No, guys, he's not lucky. He just is so bloody strong in the head. He just locks in and he decides that I will not miss. I will not give this dude a free point. If he wants to win the set, if he wants to break my serve, he needs to earn it. And in big clutch moments, Novak is the greatest tennis player that I've ever seen. Greater than Federer for sure, and greater than Nadal as well. Because Nadal had those 5 breakpoint opportunities in the second set. And it is not the first time that Rafa has had chances against Djokovic. He had 2 years ago in Wimbledon, I remember, that epic one in that semi-final, in that 5th set. Djokovic saved all those chances that Rafa had in that 5th set. And with Federer, so many times that Djokovic has saved set points, break points, match points, you name it. Why? It is not any coincidence. Why? This guy is a mentally beast, a mentally terminator. And then we had that doubles match, which I was not that 100% certain who would win. I predicted Serbia to win, and Serbia did. Novak was good in the doubles match as well. I suspected Rafa to play that doubles match. He didn't. the Spanish captain, he decided to put in Feliciano Lopez, who is a double specialist. I don't know if that was a good decision. I doubt it. I personally would have put out Busta out and put it in Rafa Nadal instead, because Rafa Nadal, yeah, I know Rafa Nadal doesn't play a lot of doubles matches in his career, but for God's sakes, he's one of the greatest tennis players of all time. So I should put Rafa and I would have taken out Busta, because Feliciano Lopez is a double specialist. So I can understand the Spanish captain why he put Feliciano Lopez in that match. And Serbia was rock solid in that doubles match as well. They just dropped the first game of the match. They just dropped on the serve, and then after that they never dropped the serve ever again in the match. Serbia. Djokovic was good in the doubles match as well, and Troicki was maybe even better in that doubles match. Actually, he was really so good, so rock solid. He was winning a lot of points on the net. He was serving really great, Troicki, in that doubles match. The Serbia won the doubles match, the decided doubles match 6-3, I believe, 6-4. And in the end, Serbia won this final very, very deservedly. Big congratulations to Serbia, a small country like Serbia winning this first event that has started for this new year, 2020. They were very, very happy. I could see that Novak was even emotional. He started crying when he was hugging his captain, his teammates, his brother. It meant a lot, because it is a lot of points involved. It is a lot of money, but it's not always about the money, because we know that Djokovic he's rich as hell, guys. So he's not playing for money, but it is more for the pleasure to win, to be the greatest team in the world, guys. And it was a Davis Cup atmosphere. It didn't feel to me like Djokovic, like Serbia was playing in Australia. It felt like Serbia was playing in Serbia, because the home crowd was cheering so brutally hard on Serbia. Probably it is a lot of Serbs who lives in Australia, I guess. So the support for the team Serbia was monstrous, big. Big congratulations to Serbia. Big congratulations to Spain as well. They won Davis Cup last year, and they went through to the final in this ATP Cup. And some team have to lose and some team have to win. And Serbia was the deserving winner in this final, in my opinion. Deserving winner, expected winner on the singles match, like I said. Bautista Agut to beat Lajovic, Djokovic to beat Nadal on the doubles match. Even though it was straight sets victory for the Serbian team, but I was not 100% certain about that prediction. I will be honest about you guys. But I had a feeling that Serbia would pull the victory in the end, which they did. And I forgot to mention Novak's winners stats, guys. I think he cracked 38 winners in the Rafa match. 38 winners. That was bloody impressive. And did only 23 or 24 unforced errors. To do that kind of lot of winners, and you don't have that kind of aggressive playing style, which Djokovic doesn't have. He's not Roger Federer, and to do that kind of many winners in 2 sets, it is bloody impressive. And Nadal, on the other hand, he did only 17 winners, I believe, and 14 unforced errors, something like that. So that stat also tells you that Novak was the player who dictated more, a player who wants to and the points more, a player who wants to push Nadal back on the court, a player who didn't want Nadal to dictate. And like I've said so many times in my videos before, Novak Djokovic tends to be sometimes passive against other players, but against Nadal and against Djokovic, he never is passive. He knows, he's smart. He's not only talented, he doesn't only have skills, but he's smart in the head as well, because he knows if he's passive against Nadal and against Federer, he will be toast. And he's almost never passive against his top chief rivals, and we saw that in this match as well, where he completely took Rafa apart, especially in the first set. So that's it, guys. Now we're going ahead to Australian Open. Who will be the big favorite there? Novak Djokovic, for God's sakes. He more or less held his team Serbia on his shoulders. He won 6 singles matches, 2 doubles matches. He won all in all 8 matches. If Rafa held Spain in the Davis Cup on his shoulders and won that tournament with his country in the Davis Cup, Rafa won all his matches. Djokovic did the same here in ATP Cup. So Djokovic is the clear favorite in Australian Open, it will take some really extraordinary performer to take him down. Something, when Novak plays in Australia, he just grows. Novak doesn't play as good in French Open, absolutely not. Novak doesn't play as good in Wimbledon, even though that he's very, 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 very good in Wimbledon as well, with 5 titles. And Novak doesn't play as good in US Open with 3 titles. In Australia, I don't know, it feels like the conditions, the courts, the atmosphere, the crowd, everything suits his game. And he just becomes even a bigger monster what he is already. So it will not be easy to take Novak Djokovic down in Australian Open, which will start about 7 to 8 days from now. I can guarantee you that, guys. So, and once again, it is not Rafa Nadal who is Novak's biggest threat. It is other players. Medvedev took 1 set from Novak Djokovic. Denis Shapovalov took 1 set from Novak Djokovic. So it is the other guys who are pushing Novak more than what Rafa is doing, even though Rafa did a good second set there. So, but now Rafa, to win the Australian Open, he has to hope and he has to cross his fingers that somebody else does the job for him and takes Novak out before that final. Because if Rafa faces Novak Djokovic in that Australian Open final 3 weeks from now, Rafa will not lift that Australian Open title. I can guarantee you that, guys. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and bye-bye.